tossed around the bed. Holiday couldn't be here sooner.
Hello, shiny happy people. Welcome to Kimba's Krafts. My name is Kim, and if you're new here, hello, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, guys. Love you. We are here for episode, I was going to say 7. I have no idea why. I know we're here for episode 12 for December 12th. And because I am running a little behind now, I'm only going to do quarter of this page. So I'm going to do half of this page, and then we'll stop. We'll spin the wheel just till I get caught up. I think I'll be able to get caught up that way. Because, yeah, you know, life and all the things. So I think that's going to be what I know that's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to do. That's my plan. All right, we're going to go ahead and do just this side, and I'm going to break it in half because I do diamond paint faster when I'm looking at a smaller area. I have less like, oh, I didn't get that type thing happening. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right, guys. So, boop. All right. I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Monday. My daughter decorated for me, and she found all my Christmas mugs. This one says, "Baby, it's cold outside." Yeah, she, you know, got all my Christmas things out, and I love it. Hopefully in the next couple days here, I'll be able to just do some kind of deeper cleaning of the house and get the floors mopped and stuff like that. And so this coming week, the week that you'll be watching this actual episode, I am hoping to get all of my Christmas shopping done and be done with that. I think my daughter is already done. She started weeks ago. She absolutely loves Christmas. And a lot of my Christmas gifts that I ordered, I ordered a couple things for other people, but mostly I just ordered all of hers because I knew exactly what she wanted. They're arriving. So, yeah, I'm going to have to wrap those gifts. So I don't know, I'm starting to get excited about the holiday now that, you know, my new position will be starting, and I'll feel like I'll have more time to get a little more organized. So I'm excited about all that. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys this story. I was thinking, like, I'm trying not to repeat stories. So I was thinking about this story. It's the reason why it came to my memory is because my daughter came into my room, and I told you she hung above my bed this art project that was like a Christmas gift that her teacher had her and the kids do when she was in grade school. Well, my daughter's grade school had this thing called Parent Visitation Day. I don't know if you guys had anything like this when your kids were in school. And it was a day where the parents were allowed to follow our kids and watch them in class, like sit with them and watch the teachers work. I can imagine it must be a little stressful for teachers, because I know when I have a patient and, you know, families there, sometimes that can be stressful. You know, you just work more stressed when you're being watched. That's just normal, right? I would assume that's anyone. If a mechanic was working on, well, a mechanic was working on someone's car, maybe. You know, if you're a chef and you have to cook in front of the people, I would imagine that's a little more stressful. You know, things like that, right? Obviously, if you were a surgeon performing an operation in front of someone, that would be stressful, I would think. Or in front of a family member, you know. So, I kind of feel for the teachers, but it was really, really nice. I really enjoyed. I went every year. I was able to go because even though I worked full time, I worked the night shift. So even if I went in half dead, I always came to parent visitation day. And my kids were almost always in the same school. And even when they weren't, like, I remember one year when my daughter was in 5th grade, the town that they lived in, or we lived in, they had a 6th grade center. So, like, the 6th graders went to their own special school, where it was like a transition between grade school and high school. And they learned how to switch classes and stuff like that. And it's a transition school where all the grade schools came together before they had the pressure of meeting new kids and all of the high schoolers. So it was like, it's considered like a transitional school for, you know, these soon to be high schoolers. And it's just a really great concept, I think, because, you know, there was like, I want to say 4 or 5 middle schools. And, you know, at least they all got to meet each other and build friendships outside of, you know, their 20 student classroom before they were thrown into hundreds of students and all these upperclassmen. So I think it's a great concept, and I think it really helps the kids. And so when my son was in 6th grade, obviously my daughter didn't go to the 6th grade center. She went to her 5th grade school. So I did have to leave her school and go there and see him there. And then when she was, I don't believe, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember going to visit in middle school. I think that's when it stopped. It either stopped or my son asked me not to go or told me not to go. I don't know. Maybe one, you know, I feel like once you get to 7th grade, 8th grade, maybe it might start to get a little embarrassing. But when they were young, they wanted me there, you know. They were like, Mom, you're going to come visit school today, right? And of course, I always did. And so, but the one year, my daughter, it was so funny. It was a year that I went from my son to my daughter. So my daughter used to come home every day and tell me that she couldn't stand her math teacher. Her math teacher, she would come home with these pamphlets and say, this is my homework. He just gave us a pamphlet. He didn't explain how to do anything. I don't know how to do it. I'm like, okay, well, where's your textbook? They didn't have textbooks. We don't have textbooks. And I'm like, well, how the heck are you supposed to... It's just weird. Like, they don't have textbooks a lot of times anymore. I just find that so bizarre. And so, like, I wouldn't even be able to help her, you know, half the time. And so she would constantly come home with these pamphlets, tell me she didn't know how to do the work, that the teacher didn't teach, that he would just do random things during class and then hand out a pamphlet and tell them that that was their homework. And they'd be like, how the heck are we supposed to do this? You didn't even teach this. And so I said to her, I'm like, you know, and she swore up and down that she wasn't good at math. And I was like, listen, first of all, if that's the case and he's not teaching you guys this material and he's just giving you a packet and expecting you to figure it out, I'm like, then more than half the class should be failing his class. Are you telling me that half the class or more are failing? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, and second of all, you're not bad at math. You know, I said to her, you're a smart girl. You don't have any learning disabilities. Like, you should have no problem. Like, you know, I don't understand why you think that you're terrible at math. That's not true. And all this stuff. And she'd be like, I'm you know, I'm not smart. And this, I'm like, that is not true. So we have this parent-teacher visitation day, right? First half, and I'm so glad it just worked out. You know, sometimes God's just in your favor and it works out. And I went with my son first half, and then halfway through the day, I switched and I went to follow my daughter. And the second class for the second half of the day for her was math. So we go into the room. You know, I meet her math teacher, this infamous math teacher that doesn't teach anything, right? And the way he had the room set up was he had the desks facing each other into 4. So he, you know, they were actually facing each other. So let me get a pen. So here is a desk, and 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 here's a seat, here's a seat, here's a seat, here's a seat. And this is my daughter, and this is her friend, and then he let me pull up a chair here, and then another mom was sitting here. And here's the board, and here's the teacher. And like, I come in, my daughter sits down, he pulls a chair up, I sit down next to her, and then as soon as her friend comes in, she puts her book bag down, and she is just like, blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh my God, da, 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 Kaylee, da, 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 da. And let me tell you, they didn't stop, okay? And I'm like, man, this girl has a lot of energy, right? So she comes in and she's like, who's this? And my daughter's like, this is my mama. And I'm like, hello. And she's like, hi. And she's like, and then, and I don't even know what she was talking about, okay? I'm just like, man, this girl can talk, right? So the teacher starts teaching, all right? These 2 girls are, right? And I'm like, Kaylee, pay attention, you know? And they keep going, talking. And he's up at the board, right? He's writing down a problem. He starts explaining how to do it. I'm watching him, and I'm watching the girls. I'm like side-eyed watching these girls, blah, 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 nonstop. They didn't stop talking, okay? These 2 little girls, I don't know, so dramatic. All the things were happening. So important things, right? And he's going over this problem. And then when he's done, he writes another problem on the board. He's like, now you guys try it. And for some reason, they heard that. They didn't hear anything else he said. They heard, now you guys try it. And my daughter, because remember, this is my daughter. So she swings her head around and she looks at the board and she's like, he expects us to know how to do that? He didn't even go over it. I was like, I'm like, what did you just say? She's like, and the girl's like, I know, he's crazy, blah, 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 blah. And the other girl, and they're both going off. And I was like, stop. I'm like, are you serious right now? Are you kidding me? And my daughter's looking at me. And I was like, Kaylee, he just went over step by step how to do that problem while you 2 ran your mouths. And the girl looks at my daughter and she's like, I like her, and points to me. And I'm like, you guys are ridiculous. I'm like, Kaylee, write the problem down. He didn't teach. I said, write the problem down. She writes it down, right? And I'm like, okay. And I start teaching her how to do it. Why? Because I paid attention to the teacher. I didn't know this crap, but I knew how to do it after he explained it, because he did a very, very, very detailed, good job. And I'm like, and And I'm telling her, I'm like, I'm just going to say random things. Like, I'm like, okay, now carry the one. And she's like, that's not how you do it. And I said, that is how you do it. And she's like, that's not how you do it. And I said, did you pay attention to him or did I? And the teacher hears us arguing and he comes over. He's like, is everything okay? And my daughter's like, my mom's telling me to carry the one. And he's like, and your mom would be correct. I was like, yeah, because I paid attention to him. And she got so upset with me. Like, she's like rolling her eyes, right? So I tell her how to do the rest of the problem. And so when that class was over, I said to them, I was like, you know, you better stop talking and start paying attention. So then the rest of the class, you know, they were paying attention or whatever. When that class was over and school was over, right? The one perk about having your mom come is you were allowed to take the kids home early. They didn't have to go back to their homeroom. You could just, because you were already there, they let you take the kids after the last class. So we walked to the car and we get in the car and I looked at her and I said to her, let me tell you something. If you ever come home with a pamphlet from math class and tell me he didn't teach you how to do it and he just expects you to figure it out, I said, you are basically telling me that you sat there and ran your mouth with that little girl and didn't pay attention to a darn thing he said. I said, I don't ever want to hear that again, ever. Don't you dare come home and tell me that. Well, let me tell you something. That girl started getting A's in math class. It became like one of her favorite subjects. I swear to God, they really believed it was the teacher. They had no idea it was because of what they were doing in school. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, she ended up loving math. And then, you know, when she would come home, she started doing really well in math and she was getting A's. And I was like, I told you you could do this. I told you there was no reason why you couldn't understand this. You're a smart girl. And yeah, she ended up really enjoying it. And I just keep thinking, I'm like, God, you know, she just put in her head that she wasn't smart enough, so she didn't try, she didn't listen, she didn't pay attention, and she just accepted the fact that if she didn't do well, it was because she wasn't smart enough anyway. And so it was just a blessing that I happened to be able to sit in on that class and tell her, no, the problem is you, not any learning capabilities, but you and this friend you've unfortunately been sat next to. I'm like, what a horrible, the only thing the teacher I think did do wrong is like you don't even have my daughter facing you. Like, you have her facing her friend who is a motor mouth. Like, that was a horrible setup. You know, you want kids to be engaged in listening to what you're saying, at least have them face you. But yeah, it was such an eye-opening experience. So just FYI, if you have a kid out there and they're telling you their teacher isn't doing anything, maybe ask them to separate them from their friends. But yeah, that was that came into my mind. I have to tell you though, I mean, I love being a mom and I love my kids, but I don't miss the stress of school. Because, I mean, as much as you looked forward to school starting, you also looked forward to summer. I mean, for me anyway, like, because then I didn't have to worry about them having projects, and I didn't have to worry about, you know, 1,000,000 pamphlets coming home. You know, don't forget this, don't forget that. You got to sign this slip. You got to have this in by this date. I'm like, I mean, and then when you have two of them school age, it is a lot. It is like overwhelming. I feel like sometimes for parents, and you're trying to like work full time and run a house, and I felt like I was in school, like I needed summer break, but then you know, you had your kids home and they wanted to do things. I'm like, it is a lot. Parenting is a lot. I've talked about this before. I'm like, when young people, I said this before, I just tell them now, like you're gonna love it, but you know, just understand you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be tired as heck for 20 some years. Emotionally, psychologically, you are going to be tired. So, I mean, you know, the worrying just never ends. It does get better though. Like, you know, I do worry less than I did in terms of like, I don't really worry about my kids. Like drinking and driving, they're not drinkers. Like, I don't worry about stuff like that. And, you know, if they do go, like my daughter went to a Christmas party with her girlfriends. It was just at her girlfriend's house, and they each got to make like a fancy cocktail. They did such a great job. I was like watching her Instagram story pics of like all the different cocktails they each got to make. And like they each got to come up with their own cocktail, and they would do like crushed candy cane on the rim and stuff like that. But if she ever like has cocktails like that or anything, she stays over. Like she'll just stay over her girlfriend's house. She knows. I'm like, don't. So, but you know, you still have to worry about that stuff. But my kids are very responsible like that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share that little story with you guys. It was on my mind. And I thought it was so funny that she did not think, I mean, I was just like, how can you not realize, like kids, I mean, adults do it too. They don't realize when they're the problem, right? So I guess it's not crazy to think that a child might not realize that their behavior is the problem, right? But yeah, it was funny. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish this top half up here. And yeah, kind of. So I finished that one show. I've been finishing so many shows doing this project. I finished Spinning Out, and then I finished my life with the Walter boys. And I really like that. I'm hoping that, I know Spinning Out is not coming out with a second season, which bummed me out, but I'm really hoping that my life with the Walter boys does. I think it's supposed to. And then now I'm watching a show called School Spirit, which is kind of morbid and cute. It's about ghosts. I'm just going to say that. It's about ghosts. So, yeah. But I'm enjoying it. All right, guys. Enjoy the music.
I love them rosy noses, I love the mistletoes, I love them cheesy pieces on television. And I cry like a baby each time. See, Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. A Merry, Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you. Let's have a joyful night. We'll keep a candle burning to light the way for the reindeers. Give Santa Claus a hand. Oh, I really cannot get enough of my Merry Christmas crush. Tonight I wanna celebrate. Tonight I wanna dream away. See the shimmer in the eyes of every happy Christmas child. A Merry, Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. A Merry, Merry Christmas. A Merry, Merry Christmas. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas.
Okay, guys, we are done. Ooh, pretty, pretty, pretty. Very pretty. It's very pixelated in real life. You know, I had to pick a Heaven and Earth Designs that was not super duper large. So, yeah. But we are going to go ahead and spin that wheel, see if we get a letter or a snowman part. So enjoy that. And yeah, I'll see you in the end. All right, guys, we are going to spin this wheel. See what we get. All right, we got a C. And we definitely have at least one C. Is it just one? Just one. One C. We'll go ahead and put that on the board. All right, some of you know it is our first letter of our first word. There we go, guys. Woohoo! All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish the second half of the quarter of this page. I hope you guys enjoy the music.
Very Merry Christmas we'll have this year. Very Merry Christmas without all tears. Every night, every day is a happy holiday. A very Merry Christmas to you. Very Merry Christmas we'll have this year. Very Merry Christmas I keep so near. Every light, every song, every friend that comes along. A very Merry Christmas to you. Sing along to the song, make a wish, grab a kiss, put another record on, wake the neighbors, having fun down the street. Christmas trees, decorations, wanna greet old Santa Claus when he arrives. Let the reindeer see the lights, light a very Merry Christmas. Oh, we'll have this year. to you.
Okay, so that's the third quarter of this page, and you can see we have a huge shop window, and yeah, so I will finish this page for tomorrow's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on the way out, and if you want to see more from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the family and friends here at Kimba's Krafts. I would love to have you. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Take care. Keep diamond painting.